Yeah,
Okay.
guys, hi everyone. Quite excited for today's session. Um, I can see a lot of people dropping in their texts about, are they working professionals or are they beginners or are they students? Please let me know, others as well. Are you a beginner in data science, or you're already into data science or data analytics? You're looking for a switch. I will be able to understand you guys better if you just let me know. Okay, beginner. Yes, great. I think a lot of beginners are over here, so I think you're at the correct place to understand. Just understand, and I mean the dynamics over here it can be confusing. So a better deal is to first understand and then plan your roadmap likewise. So yeah, I think we can start the session. I will be sharing my screen first. Just let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Cool. So, our session today is on SQL and how SQL commands will help you crack DA interviews. But having said that, I'll just give a little bit introduction about a bit of background because I believe that if you want to learn about something, it's good if you learn it from source, like if you learn it from level zero, right? So first things first, data analytics or data science. What are these terms? Can you guys help me with that? Like whatever is your understanding, anything. What do you understand and etc. Data analytics and data science. What's your understanding? Please let me know in the chat box. Okay, getting insights from the already available data. Mm-hmm. Please post your responses into the chat box so that we can take them up. All right, great. So I can see quite a few data analytics, data science understandings, which is great. So before we actually start talking about it, few quick disclaimers that this session, first thing that this session is going to be an interactive session. So I expect a lot of interactions from you as well. I absolutely don't like boring sessions and I don't want to make it a boring session as well. So the session will only be engaging, fun if you also interact with me. So your opinions, your thoughts, your questions, your answers, your feedbacks, everything you can let me know in the chat box. Okay, so I'll be looking into the chat box every 2 minutes and I'll be seeing your responses as well. That's the first thing. And second thing, I know there will be a lot of questions that you guys have around how to build your profile or how to actually get to the part of interview. We will also have a dedicated Q&A part towards the end of the session. So stay tuned towards the end of the session, till the end of the session actually. And yeah, before beginning, I'll just quickly introduce myself, though Anshika has already given an introduction. So I have been in the field of data science and analytics for almost, it's going to be 5 years now. And I started off with a data analytics firm called Musicma. I've worked with multiple Fortune 50 clients over there. Then I switched to a product company like Uber. I worked for 1+ year over there as well as a senior analyst, senior data analyst. And now I have switched to Amazon as again as a data analyst itself. And this is one field that I can tell you is that if you love solving problems, right? And I'm telling you this because I know a lot of people want to switch to data science and analytics because of course there is better pay and everything. But if you're not hooked on to the concept of this job, you won't be able to sustain long. Okay. First things first is that yes, I sticked around with this profile because I feel like I get to solve problems every day. And that is what data science and data analytics job profile is always going to look like. You have to solve, or you need to know how to solve problems every day, right? Every day new problems, new things may come up, and that is how you're going to progress in this field. Now coming to the part of our session, that how are you going to crack DA interviews using SQL commands. But before that, what is DA or what is DS? What is data analytics or data science, right? To begin with, we have so much data around us, right? Everything is data. Maybe you getting up and going to a retail store, or you are opening some app, you're buying some product. Everything is a piece of data, but all of that is raw data. And that raw data is of utmost no importance if we don't know how to extract information out of it, or if we are not getting the information out of it, right? So the art of extracting information out of a raw data or out of a heap of data is basically data science. So you have to solve a problem. For that, you have to get to the correct amount of data or the correct part of the data, extract the meaningful information, which we call insights, out of the data, and use it to make a business decision, or a data driven decision. Like if I got to know from my data, for example, I got to know from my data that people are preferring to buy more groceries on a daily basis, I will keep more grocery items on my retail store rather than more, let's say, other department items, right? So that's simple data science. But then what is data analytics in between all of this? Data analytics is a subset of data science, right? So in data science, we not only just see the data, not only that we see the data, we extract information out of it, or we make a decision, but we also predict what is going to happen in the future. Like I can predict that how much sales a particular company is going to make in the next 2 to 3 months. That's the power of data science. And of course, with AI, ML, it gets better and better. So in data analytics, the only part or the only key difference between data analytics and data science is that in data analytics, we don't usually predict future, or we don't go to the part of that particular future, right? So that is basically the difference between data analytics and data science. So are we all good to go till here? Just type in a yes if you are, if you're aligned, if you're clear, and no if you're not, you can type no as well. All right, great. Okay, now I have a question for you guys actually, right? And before beginning the session, I think this is very, very useful. Can you tell me that is SQL all about data science? I mean, my bad. Is data science all about SQL, Python, or etc.? What do you feel? No, right? No. The correct answer is not exactly, not completely, etc. Right? See, like I said, the data science is all about solving the problem, okay, or making a data driven decision based on the insight, based on the information that you extracted out of the data. Like, let's say I give you data of 6 months. Okay, we have a retail store, and I gave you 6 months data, and I'm telling you that just look into the data and just see how's the sales going, and if it is going down, then why, and do all of that, right? So you're going to look at the data, you're going to understand, okay, what is happening, is the sales going down, if it is going down, why is it going down? All these questions of what, why, etc. will be answered within the data. And now to the part of using that data to make a business driven decision is the how part. Like, how am I going to solve it? So I'm going to solve it using my strategies, using my recommendations, but I will only be able to come up to that part when I know the what part and the why part over there, right? That is basically the data science entirely. And to be able to do all of this, to be able to answer all of these questions and go around all of this, I need to use tools or techniques or technologies. And that is what SQL, Python, etc. are over here for. Like, I am talking to you using a language, right? I'm talking to you using English language, and I'm being able to convey my thoughts. I'm being able to, let you know about the problem. We are being able to communicate over this. That's because we are solving a problem, and the medium between us is the language English, right? We're taking its help. Same way we take help of all the tools and technologies like SQL, like Python, um, more tools like Excel, Tableau, Power BI, R, etc. So first and foremost thing, do not rely only on one tool. Like, do not rely on the fact that I have learned SQL or I have learned Python and that's the end of it. No, right? You will be using multiple tools to solve a problem in data science domain, right? And it's the fact that what is the problem and what can be used where is basically going to solve the problem. Are we clear till here, everyone? Everyone being able to hook on to the topic? Great. So, of course, given the disclaimer that SQL is a huge topic, okay? SQL is a huge topic. SQL is one of the integral parts of tools and techniques used in data science and AI or data analytics. But SQL is something that you cannot learn in one day. It's not possible for you to learn SQL in one day. But today over here, we are going to talk about some most important SQL commands, or how do you navigate yourself in SQL so that you can get to the point that you want to, or you can analyze your data, or you can get to the job that you want to. That's what we are here for, right? First and first foremost thing, why did we choose SQL, or why are we talking so much about SQL? Can anyone tell me why did we choose SQL? Any idea? Why SQL needed? We can work with Python also, right? We can work with Excel also. Right. So the fact is that, of course, with Python also I can do a lot of data analysis. With Excel also I can do a lot of data analysis. But SQL is one of the most integral part, because firstly, SQL is called a structured query language, right? It's a language that directly lets you talk to the database. At every other place, what happens is we extract the data from the database and then we work around, manipulate the data, and etc. SQL is the only place where you directly interact with the database, right? And in data analytics and data science, you are often going to work with massive amounts of data which is stored in databases, right? Massive amount, millions and millions of data, right? So SQL helps you access, manipulate, and analyze all of that data in the most efficient manner. That's why SQL is so important. I can just tell you one line. In almost 5 years of my career, there has not been one day that I have not used SQL. And I've worked with so many different companies, so many different domains, so many different stakeholders, but there has absolutely not been one day where I have not used SQL. So you can understand the importance of SQL. Plus, I've given so many interviews till date with all top tier companies, you can just say that. And there was not one company wherein SQL was not asked. So you can understand the importance of SQL for sure, right? Now, before we begin, now that we gave a prelims of into SQL and how important it is, now we are going to understand how does SQL help, and we are going to see a case study, live practical example as well. I just want to know how excited you guys are to learn more about this topic. Type in a big yes if you are. Great, great to see that. Great to see that. All right. First things first, what is the relevance of SQL in data science? SQL in data analytics, right? First and foremost thing is retrieving data or fetching data. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you are working at a store and you need to find out which products are selling well in the market. So what you do is coffee sales, where we have all the details of the sales that has been happening, right? Area code, date, inventory, market, what was the sales, what was the profit, etc. So many things that have been happening over here, right? Now, if you see, I have written select star from coffee sales. So this is helping you look at the entire data, right? So star means I'm selecting all the columns. Okay, I'm selecting all the columns from this table. Okay. Now today, like I said, we will focus more on understanding how are we analyzing using SQL, right? Let's say I want to simply identify or understand that let's say what is the total sales that has happened till date. Let's say I just want to understand something as simple as that. So I want to understand what is the total sales for this company. So what will I write? Now don't worry about the syntax again. I'll just write something like select sum of sales from coffee sales. So if you see, the total sales that has come up is around this number that we see over here. Almost, I think, 2 lakhs. Yes, almost 2 lakhs. Right? And I'll just name it as total sales. I'm just formatting the output more. And if you see, 2 lakhs is the total sales that we got. So with just one line of code, I could summarize the entire data. Isn't this something interesting? How many of you guys are finding it interesting? Yeah, it looks easy also, right? Great. Now you might be thinking that, there are so many things in SQL. How do I learn it? Or how do I get a more structured approach to learn it? So my recommendation specifically is to take up a course, which is a good way to actually navigate through the entire system. And it's not just SQL, right? You're going to learn Python, you're going to learn Excel, you're going to learn data visualization, statistics, probability. So much things are there. How are you going to plan your roadmap? Like you have to reach to the target company that you want to reach to. You have to reach to the target company that you want to reach to. that you have in your mind, but how are you going to pave the roadmap over there? So for that, the best deal that you can think about is taking up a structured course. If you want to know more about the structured course, will I think give up a form in the chat box. You can, of course, ask your doubts over there. But just wanted to let you know that if you're feeling confused, or if you're feeling like, okay, how am I going to learn about it? I understand this is being used, but how do I implement it? Or how do I go to that point where I am learning about it? So the way you can do it is using these kind of courses, which is going to help you navigate more, vividly, right? Yes, MySQL is a free software. Now, let's say I found out total sales for this company, right? Let me find out total sales that we captured across different products that we have. Let's see how does that work. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll actually use the same code and I'll modify that code a bit. Okay. So I'll select my product and I'll group by one. That's it. That's all I'll do. Now, if you see, just with one simple modification, for every product, I got the total sales over here. Right? And let's say now you want to find out which are the top products as well. Like you want the products which are capturing the most amount of sales on top. So what I'll do is I'll just order by 2 TSC. That's simple codes. And now if you see, these are the products which are capturing most amount of sales. And the products like regular espresso, mint, etc., they are the ones who are basically not capturing that many sales over here. So I just grouped by product and I just ordered by the total sales over here. That's it. Right? All I did was I just found out, again, don't go to the coding syntax. Don't. It is going to confuse you. When you learn SQL from scratch, it is going to help you. Just see that how am I analyzing my data and how am I making the data analysis more easy using Excel. I just found out what is the total sales that we capture across different product with just a simple line of code over here. Right? Seems good till here, everyone? Okay, now let's find out that what are the different markets that we serve to. Let's find that out. What are the different markets that we serve to? Okay, guys, I'm specifically not talking about any clauses because then you will get confused. But just understand this point. I'll just give a short introduction. Let's say you have different data at one place. Okay, this is different data, different raw data that are present at one place. Okay, some are pink, some are green. Okay, and let's say some are red. Okay, this is all your raw data. Now from this raw data, if I can just put them into separate groups, like for pink I'll form one group, for green I'll form another group, green I will form one group, and for red I will form one group. This is basically group by. This is what is basically group by. Out of all the raw datas of different colors that I had, I could just put them into different groups at one place. So I got one group of pink, one group of green, and one group of red. This is basically group by. And now that I grouped them into multiple, separate categories and groups over here, I can summarize my data that for pink, how much sales happened. Let's say X amount of sales happened. For green, what amount of sales happened. And for red, what amount of total sales happened. This is basically the simple concept of group by. I grouped by the colors that I had, and then I just found out the total sales that was captured for each group. So out of, let's say, 1500 rows that we had initially. Example, I'm just giving an example. In raw data, let's say 1500 rows were there. My output just came down to 3 rows. So you're summarizing the data, you're aggregating the data, and you're summarizing the data, right? So are we all good till here? Great. Now let's say I want to find out what are the different markets that we serve to. So what I can write is, I can just write select distinct. Distinct is a keyword which basically helps us get unique values. Okay, so distinct market from coffee sales. So if you see, there are only 4 markets: Central Asia, Southeast Asia, Oceania, and North Asia. Now let's say you want to simply say, get that what is the average, let's say what is the average profit earned from Central Asia market. Let's say you want only that information. Only for Central Asia, you want that. So how will you do that? Now, if you see over here, I have to now filter my result only for Central Asia market. So what I'll do, I'll first find the average profit that we have from the table that I have, where market is equal to Central Asia. I want this exact market, right? So Central Asia. Central Asia is a string, like a textual character, so we have to specify it within quotes. Okay. So if you see, the average profit that we are earning from Central Asia is around $68. So again, very simply, I'm being able to take out this insight. Still, now we have already taken out 4 insights. If you see, I found out the total sales, I found out what is the different market, particular market, etc. Across, right? I'll just remove profit or, right? The market in North Asia, find out using SQL. Right, we are getting so much, right? One out there, I've only it least, right? Let's try. Now, if you see us, I only want to see those products. So I'll write having average greater than equals to 55. That's it. That's all I'm going to write. And if you see, only herbal tea, espresso, and coffee came out as an answer, because these are only the product types that have their average profit more than 55 or at least 55, right? If I would have not given this command, okay, if I would have not filtered for average profit greater than 55, I would have gotten four answers. One was T as well, which would have been present over here, right? So are we all clear till here? Now, why I used having, why not where? This part will only be clear when you learn about SQL. Just give me 1 minute. All right. So that's about, yes, I mean, you're being able to analyze so much in the data just by using simple concepts. Everyone good till here? Now let's say I want to see, now let's say just one more insight we will see, that per product, what was the target sales and what did we actually capture? Okay, let's say I want to know this, that per product, what was the target sales and what did we actually capture? Let's say I want to find something like this. So what will I do? I'll do select product, comma, sum of the target sales that we have, actual sales that I got. Now if you see, for every product, I can see what is the target sales and what is the actual sales over here. Right, such a good analysis that I can see, and I can see that which products basically are exceeding the target and which products are not exceeding the target. I can clearly see that from here, right? Like products like Colombian has exceeded the target, etc. So I can gain all of those insights from here. Right, so are we all good till here? Did we learn a lot of new ways to analyze data using SQL? Everyone? All right, great. So going back to understanding, will you start preparing about that? Of course, you need to understand, like, how do you prepare for the interview when you're looking at SQL? Even if you know SQL, right? Even if you know SQL, you have to prepare yourself to with your problem understanding. You have to understand what is the problem that I'm trying to solve using SQL. What does the problem exactly want from me, right? Break it down into the most simple layman terms. Then optimize your query likewise. Then handle edge cases, like scenarios where there can be mismatch of data, or there can be scenarios where anomalies etc can come up. And fourth very important point is communicate your thought process. Communicate all of that to your interviewer. So you're going to make it clearly, very clear to the interviewer that this was the question, so I thought of this process, and for this is the code that I have written down. Everyone clear to here? And now one more thing about advanced SQL. And then in SQL, how do we learn? So we usually DCL commands, right? Select, update, modify, all of these commands. After we have learned all of this, we are slowly going to go to the advanced self joins, etc. Then window functions, then subqueries. Then these are something which enhances your queries. These are something that helps you easily. So let's say I give you a project data. Let's say in a class of 50 students, so there are multiple students who might have scored the same marks or might not have scored the same marks, have got 75. We don't know. Or maybe everyone knew. Find me that person or find me those students marks who are at the third position. How are you going to find out? You won't be able to something called as window functions in this case. And along with, when I increase the level, when I go to a complex method, now like it sounds very easy, it will always sound very easy, and if it is sounding easy, that's a good deal, it should sound easy. But when you start solving it, it might get hefty. So that's why learning all of this is very very important, or going sequentially is very very important, right? Are we all good till here? Now, of course, I think I'm getting a lot of questions about the boot camp that you are a part of, and I'm getting a lot of questions about how do we learn and etc. So before moving forward to any other Q&A and etc., definitely based on my experience, I can tell you one thing, that if you're planning for career transition, and you can see a lot of people are beginners over here, it's very important for you to upskill and have a better solid roadmap, right? Like I've seen a lot of situations or experiences where you have to crack this interview, you know you have to crack a data analytics interview, but you don't know how, or you don't have a specific roadmap towards it. So as a result, what will happen is you will waste a lot of time, you will miss out a lot of opportunities, and you won't strike the right chord at the right time. So it's important for you to save time and get the right mentorship. So my recommendation would be to invest in a paid program that will help you build your profile from scratch, right? If you would have been someone who was working in data science right from day one, then your story would have been different. But since all of you guys are beginners, you're starting to learn something new, there will be so many new topics that you need to learn, and everything has a particular stage. Like before learning about SQL, maybe you will learn about Excel first. But how do you know about all of that? You can only know about this when you have a structured course into place, right? And teach you about self studies, or in times you might find that if there would have been a very customized plan for me, it would have been very very easy or important for me. So if you want to understand how these paid programs can help you transition your career faster, you can fill up a form. And I think Anshika, you can just help us with the form. um Someone from the Coding Ninjas team will definitely forward you the form in the chat box, so you can fill up that form. And yes, the form is right there in the chat box. And by the end of the session, we'll also talk about the data analytics bootcamp in detail. Everyone can hear me, right? Is my voice audible? Yes, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, everything, starting from comprehensive trainings or placement assistance to how will you land your first job, will be something that will be tailored and structured. So yeah, you can fill up the form, and we of course have more Q&A questions to take up. We can take up some more questions right now, but yeah, someone from the team will also communicate with you. And yeah.
Yeah. So we'll give you 1 minute to fill out the form. So as Meghna mentioned that if you're looking forward to a tailored roadmap, if you want to understand how a paid program can be helpful to you, you can obviously fill the form. We will be catering to limited number of students only. So you can fill the form. Our team will reach out to you and they will help you with how you can, make a smooth career transition. And by the end of the session we will also maybe talk if we get more questions on this. And you guys can fill the form. We have already started receiving the response. So this is a I mean comprehensive program, and you get placement assistance till first job. Anybody who is aspiring to be a data analyst or just want to, upskill, they can obviously look into it. So yeah, Meghna, I think we can now start.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think just before going, I mean, moving ahead, we still have few things to discuss. So I'll just share back my screen. Okay. Now, one thing that we will always talk about is how will you in real world apply SQL and what are the next steps that you can take up, right? So be it any project that you are working along or be it any project that you are honing your SQL skills into, you need to first understand what are the challenges. Like let's say you are analyzing customers behavior, or or let's say you are working at a company which sends out marketing campaigns, right? So there will be multiple scenarios where you will be sending out these campaigns to multiple people, and you might know this fact that every campaign that a company sends out, like let's say you're receiving a campaign from Swiggy sometimes, or you're receiving a campaign from Zomato sometimes, right? Every company spends $1 behind that, right? So it is so important for the company to understand if that campaign is even effective or not. And how are you going to understand that? Using SQL, right? Now you would say that then where is Python required? Python is also required, of course, because it's a bit more advanced. It's a bit more technically advanced, where you analyze and manipulate the data better. But the added advantages is that you can visualize your data within Python. You can build machine learning models, which is not available in SQL. So for prediction purposes, for visualization purposes, for script purposes, we use Python again. Though visualization is something that can be done using tools, BI tools like Power BI or Tableau or Excel for that matter. So yes, start with enriching your SQL skills. Get explore the advanced courses that are there. Get your basics clear. First and foremost thing, get your basics clear, then move to the advanced part, and practice a lot, guys. Practice is something that is going to help you get advanced in SQL. Like even if you learn SQL and even if you complete SQL, learning complete SQL, if I give you a question after 2 weeks, you won't be able to solve it, and that's my guarantee. You won't be able to do it if you don't practice it every day. In fact, till date, even if us people who are working from five years in SQL, if I don't use SQL for let's say straight 3 or 4 weeks, if I then start using SQL again, I get a little bit confused. That happens. That's very normal human behavior. That's why you need to keep using these codes, languages, solve problems every day, so that you will be able to solve these questions with much more ease and etc. Right? All right. Now moving towards more of the Q&A section, I will be taking up some questions. So you can post your questions. If I would have missed the questions earlier, please post the questions again so that I can take them up. Okay, I got a question that I'm a Java software developer till 2015, later left job, then years passed on. Till now, I'm not in touch with any techno. I wish to start in, but confused in which field shall I continue? Exactly. So for these scenarios, you need to again start from scratch. Start from scratch, start from basics. Let's say you start from Excel, then you go for SQL, then you go for Python, then stats, then probability, then data visualization, and all of those machine learnings, etc. But the point is that when you do that, you might, for your specific use case, you might feel like, oh, this, you will be recalling those topics again and again. So yeah, I mean, whenever you're starting a new domain, it's very important to unlearn a lot of things that you have already known till now, and start learning a lot of things in the more correct way right now. So yes, using a tailored structured approach is very important. Yes, there are definitely a lot of data analytics job for freshers. In fact, data analytics is one of the profile where freshers get hired a lot. So yes, even if you're a finance student or you're from any field, even if you're a non-IT field person, you can still switch to this job profile. That's the beauty of it, for sure. And your expected salary depends. It depends on multiple stages that you are in. What is the experience, what is the company, what is the field, etc. Okay. All right. I think Anshika, you can take over and maybe guide them more about the bootcamp, because I think there's a lot of question about the paid program and etc. Yeah.